Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Happy Saturday morning to you. We've got a couple of great guests for you on the show this week. At the bottom of the hour, we'll be talking to guide Shelby Ross. He's going to give us a walleye fishing report from Potholes Reservoir in eastern Washington, and join me in previewing the opening weekend of duck season in the Columbia Basin, which is going to go off a short 7 days from now. By the way, I think you're going to like this preview. You'll want to stick around for the end of the show too, especially if you're in the market for an RV, because the Tacoma RV Show is coming to the Tacoma Dome this week, starting Thursday and running through Sunday. Joe Brennan with O'Loughlin Trade Shows will tell you more about this event, which is the place to be if you want to find a great deal on a year-end closeout from a wide variety of dealers. And don't worry about going to the bank, because they've got financing available for you right there. That kind of kicks off what's hot in the Pacific Northwest as well. Brought to you by your Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Everett, Silverdale, Puyallup, and Federal Way, all of which have the gear you need for the duck and deer opener coming up next weekend. One thing that's at least lukewarm is the Cowlitz River. It's not fishing too bad right now. That's the word from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, where creel checkers found boat anglers catching and keeping a fish per rod and catching and releasing another fish each below the I-5 bridge last week. Bank anglers weren't doing quite so well, but they were getting into some jack salmon. The overall catch was a mix of Chinook, coho, and steelhead. What's not hot is coho salmon fishing on several Puget Sound tributaries. WDFW has closed all salmon fishing on the Snohomish and Snoqualmie rivers and the Skykomish River upstream of the Wallace. In addition to this, all salmon must be released except for marked hatchery coho on the Wallace River and the Skykomish from the mouth to the Wallace. The reason? The same as we've heard on many Northwest rivers this summer and fall, lower than expected returns. Continuing with what's not hot, Dale Ballard, owner of Fin Reaper Guide Service, reports fishing in Nehalem Bay near Tillamook was a little slow last week, and we've got another Tillamook Bay fishing report coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. You'll want to stick around for that and see if it's different than what's happening in Nehalem Bay. On the other hand, there is reason to be happy if you're heading to our Southwest Washington beaches. Pending final toxin tests on Tuesday, we should have a razor clam season this week. It's going to start off Thursday, October 11th. The beach is open, Twin Harbors and Mock Rocks, and low tide will be at 8:58 p.m. On October 12th, Friday, low tides at 9:41 p.m. and the beaches that are open are Twin Harbors and Copalis. That's right, Copalis instead of Mock Rocks. And then on Saturday, the 13th, we're back to Twin Harbors and Mock Rocks again for digging with a low tide of 10:26 p.m. Continuing with the Southwest Washington beaches and checking in with NorthwestFisheryReports.com poster Space Yak 1000 spent last weekend at Cape Disappointment State Park near Owako, and he slayed the surf perch, catching and mainly releasing some 50 of them. He's got a great post worth checking out at NorthwestFisheryReports.com that really lays out how to catch these fish here. Just go to the reports section and look for the post by Space Yak 1000. Last but not least, a reminder that quail and chukar season opened this morning east of the Cascades, and the elk muzzleloader season opened up today statewide. If you're hunting today for birds or bulls, we wish you luck. And now you know what's hot and what's not right here in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Pheasants Forever is working hard every day to ensure there's more wildlife habitat for the future. To join us, go to pheasantsforever.org.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
We're checking in with Shelby Ross. He's the owner of Ross Outdoor Adventures. He is actually fishing at this very moment on Potholes Reservoir in eastern Washington. Just netted a fish for his clients. Shelby, how's the fishing today?
You know, the fishing is off the hook. Let's see, we got 4 walleye in the live well. We've caught bluegill, crappie, perch, largemouth, just released a giant carp. And it's just a big mixed bag this time of year. You have no idea what's on the end of the hook until you get it to the boat. It's kind of fun fishing. The night crawler usage is pretty substantial.
I love it. I love the smorgasbord of fish you're catching, too. You've been really doing well on walleye the last week or two, haven't you?
You know, I wouldn't say guaranteed limits, but we've had a really good bite the last 2 weeks.
And are we talking those eater-sized fish of about 14 to 16 inches primarily?
You know, a lot of our fish are 18 to 20 and just are fat. They've been feeding all summer on all the bait fish in the lake, so they're just a lot bigger than they are in the spring across the board. We haven't been getting much in the oversized, over 22. Once in a while we'll get a 25 to 28-inch fish, but most of them are 17 to 20.
All right, well, I want to turn your attention to waterfowl hunting. I took my daughter out for the youth waterfowl hunt last weekend. I saw more mallards, I saw more teal, I saw more ducks, period, on a local basis than I've seen in years. What are you thinking for the opener? The
state's survey for the local area indicates a 50-some% increase in mallard numbers, and like I say, just looking around, I went and looked at a property that I leased yesterday, and it had 500 or 600 ducks on it, and about 90% of them were mallards, and that's not a normal thing for this time of year. Usually we have lots of teal, lots of widgeon, pintail without pins, and a lot of greenheads that don't have a green head yet, and these looked more like November birds, which is not a bad thing.
I agree completely, folks. This is looking to be a banner year in the Columbia Basin for waterfowl hunting. So if you haven't made plans yet for either waterfowl hunting or walleye fishing in October, the guy to call is Shelby Ross. His website is potholesfishing.com. He can take you walleye fishing. He can take you duck and goose hunting. Heck, he can even do both with you on a combo trip in one day. The website again, potholesfishing.com. And if you're looking for places to stay and eat in the area, look no further than moseslake360.com. Thanks for the report, Shelby.
Thank you, John.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're talking to Joe Brennan with O'Loughlin Trade Shows. Joe, I understand there is a big RV show coming up really soon at the Tacoma Dome. What are the dates? And tell our listeners more about it.
Yeah, the show dates are October 11th through the 14th. Once again, it's one of the major RV shows on the west side of the Cascades for the Seattle and Tacoma market areas. Most of the major dealers from those markets will be exhibiting at this show. And again, it's a last opportunity for people to come down and get a deal on an RV before the year ends.
I've got a question about that, and that's why I got you on today, is because you always hear about year-end clearances for cars and trucks in August and September. Is this the time to get a year-end deal for an RV? I mean, is this prime time, so to speak, to get a killer deal?
A lot of these dealers that sell these RVs are looking to liquidate their inventory so they can have the upcoming year's models coming in. So yes, it is a good time to get the deals, and also there's great financing on them. That's what the main feature of a lot of these RV shows, terrific financing.
That is wonderful. Give or take, how many RVs are going to be here? How many RV exhibitors are going to be here?
Oh, you're going to see at least, I would say, around 15 dealers. And how many RVs? It comes down to how many they can pack in that building.
Well, and I guess that's something else we should talk about, is what kind. I mean, are we talking Class Cs, Class As, Class Bs? Are we talking little teardrop campers? Are we talking the bunkhouse trailers? I mean, are we talking everything here?
What you just mentioned is the answer is yes. You're going to have the towables. You are going to have the drivables, the small teardrops, the campers. Absolutely. And a big push, more of the off-road style camper that we're seeing more and more becoming prevalent today. So the fold-up small towables or ones that sit on the top of trucks or vehicles. But again, John, you're going to see every imaginable RV out there at this show.
All right. Well, it's the Tacoma RV Show. The dates again, October 11th through the 14th. It's taking place at the Tacoma Dome, being put on by O'Loughlin Trade Shows. Go to otshows.com to find out more. That's otshows.com for the Tacoma Fall RV Show. If you are in the market for a trailer or a motorhome, this is a show you don't want to miss, because there's going to be some great deals. Thanks as always, Joe.
You're welcome. See everybody at the RV show.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, a nationwide group working to keep public lands in public hands so future generations can enjoy what we enjoy. Join the group that makes a difference. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.